The envelope trembled in my hand like a live wire, its edges crisp against my skin as Joshua's words hung in the air. "It's not what you think, Alex. But it's everything." My heart slammed against my ribs, the birthday candles flickering out one by one, casting shadows that danced like accusations across his face. In that split second, with our friends frozen in awkward silence around the cluttered kitchen table, I realized the gift wasn't paper and ink. It was a grenade, and he'd just pulled the pin. I'd known Joshua since we were scrawny kids dodging dodgeballs in the dusty gym of Lincoln High in Des Moines, Iowa. Back then, he was the golden boy, quarterback dreams, easy grins, and a laugh that could disarm a room full of pissed-off teachers. I was the quiet one, sketching comics in the margins of my notebooks, hiding crushes behind bad poetry. We bonded over stolen sodas from the vending machine and late-night drives on back roads, windows down, blasting Springsteen until our throats ached. He called me his brother from another mother, and I let myself believe it, even as the truth gnawed at me like a bad tooth. Joshua was straight as a Kansas highway. Girls, parties, the whole Midwest playbook. Me? I'd figured out my own wiring early, around 14, when a glance at the swim team captain sent my world tilting. But Joshua? He was my safe harbor, the one constant in a life of small-town scrutiny and unspoken fears. By 25, we'd both escaped Des Moines for Chicago, chasing that elusive big city glow. I landed a gig as a graphic designer at a boutique ad firm in the Loop, churning out logos for craft breweries and indie bands. Joshua? He was grinding as a junior architect at a firm in Wicker Park, sketching blueprints for condos that screamed gentrification chic. Our friendship held like superglue. Friday bar hops at the Empty Bottle, brunches at mopey hipster spots where we'd dissect the week's disasters over bottomless mimosas. He dated a string of women, blondes with yoga mats and opinions on craft IPAs, while I navigated the gay scene with cautious swipes on apps, always keeping one eye on the door. Joshua knew I was gay. He'd walked in on me once, mid-make-out with a barista named Tyler, and just clapped me on the back with a "dude, get it." No judgment, no weirdness. That's what made him irreplaceable, or so I thought. My birthday fell on a muggy July Saturday, the kind where Chicago's humidity clings like regret. We'd rented out the back room of a dive bar in Logan Square, neon signs buzzing, peanut shells crunching underfoot, for a low-key bash. 20 guests, mostly our overlapping crew. Sarah from my office, with her endless true crime podcasts. Mike, Joshua's drafting buddy, who could quote every Tarantino line. And a smattering of Joshua's exes who showed up fashionably late, nursing grudges in designer jeans. The cake was a lopsided chocolate monstrosity from Angelo's, my favorite, with "Happy 25, Alex. Don't grow up too fast" scrawled in sloppy icing. Laughter echoed as we passed shots of Malort, that bitter wormwood elixir that tastes like regret and bad decisions. Joshua arrived last, fashionably disheveled in his faded Cubs tee and Levi's, carrying a wrapped box under one arm and that envelope in his pocket. He'd been weird all week, texts trailing off mid-sentence, calls cut short with "busy" at the site. I chalked it up to deadline stress. His firm was pitching a massive riverfront project, the kind that could make or break his career. But when he slid into the booth beside me, his knee brushing mine under the table, there was a heaviness in his eyes, like storm clouds rolling in off Lake Michigan. "To Alex," he toasted, raising his glass with forced cheer. "The guy who's seen me at my worst and still shows up." Cheers rippled around the table, but his gaze locked on mine, intense and unblinking. My stomach flipped. Familiar territory, that flutter I'd buried deep since college. I'd confessed my feelings once, drunk on cheap tequila after a Badgers game, but he'd laughed it off gently. "You're my best friend, man. That's forever." I'd nodded, swallowed the ache, and moved on. Or tried to. The cake cutting was a spectacle, me wielding the knife like a prop sword, everyone chanting off-key. Then Joshua stood, clearing his throat. "Hold up. I've got something for you." He pulled out the envelope, plain white, sealed with a lick that looked too deliberate. "Open it now, please." The room hushed. I tore it open, expecting tickets to a Cubs series or a goofy IOU for one free bro hug. Instead, a stack of photos spilled out, Polaroids, faded at the edges. Us at 15, arms slung around each other at the state fair, cotton candy smeared on our faces. Us at 20, sprawled on the beach in Door County, sand in our hair, beers half empty. And then, ones I didn't recognize. Me asleep on his couch last winter, post-breakup with my ex, his blanket tucked around me. A shot from last Halloween, me in a ridiculous pirate costume, him as a zombie, our cheeks pressed close in a selfie. But tucked at the bottom was a letter, handwritten in his blocky scrawl. I unfolded it, the words blurring as I scanned. Alex, 25 years. That's how long you've been my anchor. I know I've never said it right, but you're more than a friend. You're the one who sees me, really sees me. This gift? It's a promise. No more hiding. Meet me at the lake house tomorrow. We need to talk, for real this time. Yours, Josh. The air sucked out of the room. My pulse thundered in my ears. What the hell is this? I whispered, but it came out louder, accusatory. Heads turned. Sarah's eyes widened. Mike choked on his beer. Joshua's face drained of color. It's me trying, Alex. Trying to say what I've been too scared to. Scared. The word exploded from me, hot and jagged. You've got a girlfriend, Josh. Emily. You proposed last month, for fuck's sake. Lies. No, truth. I'd seen the ring shopping pics on her Insta, the brunch where he'd accidentally let it slip over Eggs Benedict. His jaw clenched. That was a mistake. Emily. She doesn't get it. Doesn't get us. The bar spun. Us. There was no us. Just me, pining in silence, and him, oblivious or cruel. Friends murmured, phones discreetly angling for the drama. I shoved the photos back, the envelope crumpling in my fist. This isn't a gift. This is a bomb. I stormed out, the door slamming like a guillotine. Behind me, Joshua's voice cracked. Alex, wait. The night air hit like a slap, humid and unforgiving. I walked the blocks to my apartment in Andersonville, the city lights blurring through unshed tears. How dare he? After years of me building walls around this crush, he drops this? On my birthday? It felt like betrayal wrapped in nostalgia, a cruel tease of what could never be. By the time I collapsed onto my bed, the letter burned a hole in my pocket. No more hiding. What did that even mean? Was he coming out? To me? For me? Or was this some straight guy experiment, a midlife crisis at 25? Sleep evaded me, chased by memories. Joshua at my coming out dinner with my folks. Awkward as hell in our conservative Des Moines kitchen, but he'd squeezed my shoulder and said, "Proud of you, bro." The time he drove 8 hours to bail me out after a bad hookup turned ugly, no questions asked. And yeah, the quiet moments. His head on my shoulder during a late-night movie, breath steady against my neck. I'd always chalked it up to bromance, the kind America loves to romanticize in beer ads. But now it felt like gaslighting. Dawn crept in gray and reluctant. My phone buzzed, text from the group chat exploding. What happened? Josh is wrecked. Call me. I ignored them, showered off the night's grime, and stared at the letter again. The lake house. Our spot. His family's cabin on Lake Okoboji, where we'd spent summers fishing and bullshitting about life. 3 hours north. Part of me screamed to ghost him forever. The rest, the masochistic part, craved answers. I packed a bag, tossed the photos in the glove box of my beat-up Civic, and hit the road. The interstate unspooled like a confession, cornfields giving way to rolling hills. By the time I pulled up to the cabin, peeling white siding, dock creaking in the breeze, Joshua was waiting on the porch, coffee mug in hand, looking like he'd aged a decade overnight. Alex, he started, voice raw. Thank God. Don't. I killed the engine, stepped out. The lake lapped gently, mocking the storm in my chest. Explain. Now, what was that stunt last night? He set the mug down, hands shoving into his pockets. It wasn't a stunt. It was me. Finally, he paced the warped boards. I've been lying to everyone. To Emily. To you. I'm not straight, Alex. Or at least, not when it comes to you. The world tilted. I laughed, bitter and disbelieving. Bullshit. You've dated half the women in Chicago. Cover, he muttered, eyes on the water. Since high school. Remember John? From the team? John. The name hit like a sucker punch. John Hargrove, senior year, the tight end with the easy smile and rumors that swirled like locker room smoke. Joshua's best bud after me, the one they'd said was too close. John had vanished after graduation. Enlisted, family said. But I'd seen the looks, the late practices that ran long. John was. Joshua trailed off, throat working. My first. We hooked up once, drunk at a party. It scared the shit out of me. My dad. Hell, the whole town. They'd crucify us. So I buried it. Dated girls. Pretended. But you? You've always been there, pulling me back. Rage boiled up, hot and righteous. And you let me think I was alone in this. I told you how I felt, Josh. Sophomore year, remember? You brushed it off like a joke. I was terrified. He whirled on me, eyes flashing. Of losing you. Of what it meant. I'm sorry, Alex. God, I'm so sorry. Sorry. The word hung, inadequate as a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. I wanted to deck him, to scream, to pull him close and erase the years of what-ifs. Instead, I turned away, fists clenched. You proposed to Emily. Bought a ring. What about that? A panic move. He deflated, shoulders slumping. She found out about the photos, old ones of us. Accused me of cheating. I proposed to shut her up. But it's over. I called it off this morning. The confession landed like fallout. Betrayal, not just to me, but to her, to himself. I thought of Emily's bright laugh at our group hangs, her hand on his arm. Collateral damage in Joshua's closet drama. You're a coward, I spat, dragging everyone down. I know. His voice broke. That's why the gift. To own it. To choose you, if you'll have me. The doc called, a siren. I stormed past him, boots thudding. Sat at the edge, feet dangling over the water, the same spot we'd skipped stones as kids. Joshua followed, hesitant, settling a foot away. Silence stretched, thick as the humidity. Why now? I finally asked, voice small. He exhaled. The project. Late nights. I kept dreaming of you. Woke up realizing life's too short for half-truths. Like Dad, heart attack last year. Gone at 52. What if that's me? Regrets piling up. His dad. The stoic Korean War vet who'd grilled us on football stats, hidden his own pains behind Pabst and silence. Joshua's voice cracked on the memory, and something in me softened, just a fracture. We talked then, really talked, for hours. Secrets unspooling like fishing line. His stolen glances in the locker room, the guilt after John ghosted him post-army discharge. My own scars, the ex who outed me to my conservative aunt, the hookups that left me hollow. The sun climbed, gilding the lake, and for the first time, the space between us felt bridgeable. But doubt lingered, a shadow. What if this is just curiosity? I pressed. You wake up tomorrow, freak out, and I'm the idiot left holding the pieces? He met my eyes, steady. Then you kick my ass. But I don't think so. This feels right. Like coming home. Home. The word wrapped around my heart, tentative. We didn't kiss, not yet. Just sat, shoulders brushing, watching a bald eagle wheel overhead. It was enough. For now. The drive back to Chicago that evening was a blur of golden light and half-formed promises. Joshua's hand rested on the gear shift, inches from mine, a silent question. I didn't pull away. We stopped at a roadside diner off I-80, greasy spoons and fluorescent buzz, the kind of place where truckers nurse coffees and dreams die quietly over pie. Over burgers, we mapped the minefield ahead, telling the crew, facing Emily's fallout, navigating the optics in our buttoned-up worlds. One step, he said, ketchup smudged on his lip. I wiped it off with my thumb, heart stuttering. His smile, shy, real, lit something in me I thought long dimmed. Monday hit like a freight train. My office hummed with the usual chaos. Client calls nitpicking fonts, Sarah cornering me by the Keurig. Spill, Alex. What went down at the bar? Josh looked like he'd seen a ghost. I deflected with a grin. Too much, my lord. But inside, I was a live wire. Joshua texted from across town. Lunch? Neutral ground. We met at a falafel joint in Ukrainian village, knees knocking under the tiny table. His eyes darted, scanning for familiar faces. Paranoia, fresh and raw. That night, the bomb dropped. Emily called me, sobbing into my voicemail. How could you? He told me everything. You're the reason. I played it for Joshua over takeout Thai on my couch, the apartment smelling of lemongrass and betrayal. She thinks we're sleeping behind her back, I said, voice tight. Months, Alex. I strung her along for months. Guilt twisted in my gut, not mine, but his poison seeping in. You did this, I accused, pacing the worn rug. Your mess, your lies. Now she's collateral. He buried his face in his hands. I know. I'll fix it. Meet her, explain. But his voice wavered, and I saw the fracture. The boy from Des Moines, terrified of the town's whispers, now facing a city that judged just as harshly, if slicker. The week unraveled in fits. Group chat imploded. Mike's WTF, bros? Emojis masking hurt. Sarah's supportive DMs laced with be careful, Han. Joshua came out to his sister via FaceTime, her Iowa twang going silent before erupting in hugs. About damn time, dummy. My folks. I held off, their Baptist echoes still ringing. Instead, we stole moments. A stolen walk in Lincoln Park, his fingers grazing mine in the crowd. Coffee runs where he'd linger, eyes soft. Then John re-entered the frame, a ghost from the Polaroids. A Facebook ping, Joshua's profile, public now, flooded with congrats from old teammates. John's message, heard the news. We need to talk. Coffee. Joshua showed me, pale. He messaged last night. Says he saw the post. Jealousy flared, irrational and scorching. John, the first, the one who'd cracked Joshua's shell. What if this was round two? Go, I said, steeling myself. Clear the air. But don't bullshit me after. He met John at a Starbucks in River North, all plate glass and pretense. I paced my apartment, doom-scrolling Grindr out of spite, then deleting it in shame. Hours later, Joshua burst in, rain slicked from a sudden downpour. It's not what you think, he rushed. John's married now, wife, kid. He just wanted closure. Said he regretted bailing after the army. That I deserved better than hiding. Relief flooded me, chased by pity. And you? What did you say? That I'm done hiding. Because of you. He stepped close, water dripping from his hair. Our first kiss was tentative, lake salt and desperation, then deepening, hands fisting shirts. It wasn't fireworks. It was reckoning, years of unspoken ache pouring out. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed. I love you, Alex. Have for years. The words undid me. I love you too, I whispered. But this scares me shitless. Friday brought the high wire. Our first group hang post explosion at the hideout for Bluegrass Night. Tension crackled like static. Emily didn't show, Joshua was doing a mercy, but the stairs did. Mike clapped Joshua too hard on the back. Proud of you, man. But don't fuck it up. Sarah pulled me aside in the ladies' room. He's straight passing his way into your heart. Guard it. Her words festered. That night, tangled in sheets at his place. A sleek loft in Wicker Park, all exposed brick and regret. Joshua confessed more. I jerked off to thoughts of you. College. Every time. Raw, unfiltered. It thrilled and terrified, the line between romance and revelation blurring. But cracks spiderwebbed. Work whispers reached me, a client side-eyeing my personal drama during a pitch. Joshua's boss called him in. Focus, kid. This isn't the time for distractions. Distractions. Me. The label stung, echoing small-town slurs. The real fracture came mid-August, heat wave choking the city. Joshua's firm won the riverfront bid, champagne toasts, backslaps. He texted, big news. Dinner at Girl and the Goat? I showed up beaming, only to find Emily there, arm in arm with a coworker, her glare a dagger. Surprise, Joshua mouthed, trapped in small talk. She'd crashed it, for closure. Dinner devolved into interrogation. Her tears, his apologies, my silence, a third wheel. You stole him. She hissed at me in the bathroom line. Played the long game. I wanted to scream. I'd waited, not schemed, but the word stuck. Joshua drove me home in silence, her perfume clinging like accusation. You should have warned me. I exploded at a red light. This is your circus. I thought I could handle it. He slammed the wheel. I love you. But God, Alex, this is harder than I thought. The looks, the questions. It's like high school all over. High school. I laughed hollow. You mean when you let me twist alone? When John bailed and you pretended it never happened? His face crumpled. Don't throw that at me. I'm trying. Trying isn't enough. Tears burned. I'm not your experiment, Josh. I'm all in, or nothing. He pulled over on Lakeshore Drive, waves crashing below like fury. Then what? Walk away? After everything? The silence stretched eternal. I got out, walked the shore path, wind whipping tears. He didn't follow. My phone stayed dark all night. Days blurred into a fog. I threw myself into work. Mock-ups till dawn, caffeine IVs. Sarah staged an intervention brunch. Babe, he's scared. But so are you. Don't let fear win. Wisdom from a woman who'd survived 2 messy divorces. I nodded, but the ache pulsed. Then, the gut punch, a package at my door. Joshua's handwriting. Inside, the ring box, unopened, and a note. I can't do half measures. But without you? Empty. Okoboji this weekend? No pressure. Just us. The lake house again. Symbolism heavy as humidity. I drove north Friday dusk, heart a war drum. He was on the dock, fishing rod idle, silhouette against the sunset. No words at first, just the creak of boards as I joined him. I'm sorry, he said finally, real clicking. For the mess. For Emily. For being a chicken shit. Me too. I reeled in his line, our hands brushing. I pushed too hard. Forgot this is new for you. We fished till dark, stories flowing. His army dreams crushed by John's rejection. My first pride in Chicago, rain-soaked and euphoric. Laughter crept in, tentative. Night fell soft. Inside, fire crackling in the stone hearth, we talked redemption. No more secrets, he vowed. Therapy. Coming out to the folks. All of it. I nodded, throat tight. Together? Together. His hand found mine, steady. The kiss that night was different. Sure, unhurried. We made love slow, bodies mapping familiar terrain with new intent. No rush, no proof, just presence. Afterward, tangled in quilts, his whisper, this is home. But dawn brought reality's bite. My phone buzzed. Mom, voice quavering. Joshua's dad called. Said, things. Is it true? Small town vines. Whispers traveling faster than light. Panic flickered in Joshua's eyes. I wanted to tell them myself. Too late. I squeezed his hand. We face it. Now. The call was brutal. Dad's silence. Mom's tears. We love you both, but. Pray on it. Progress, jagged-edged. Joshua hung up, shattered. They think I'm broken. You're not. I held him as sobs racked. We're not. The high came crashing mid-September. Joshua's firm gala, black tie, skyline views. He invited me as his +1, official. Nerves jangled as we entered the Palmer house, chandeliers dripping light. Heads turned, murmurs rippled. His boss clapped him on the back. Bold move, kid. Emily was there, date in tow, her nod cool but civil. On the balcony, city sprawled below. Joshua pulled a small box, not a ring, but a key. To the loft. Move in. My yes was a breath, a vow. We danced inside, his hand warm on my waist, world fading to just us. But fate's cruel. October brought John's shadow long. A letter arrived at Joshua's office. John's suicide note, forwarded by his widow. Tell Josh I'm sorry. For running. For not being brave. Details trickled. PTSD from deployment, buried like Joshua's secrets. The army had chewed him up, spit him out. Joshua broke that night, whiskey bottle half empty. I could have helped. If I'd reached out. You were a kid. I rocked him, but guilt festered, a third in our bed. November deepened the rift. Joshua withdrew, late nights at the office, really therapy marathons. I buried in designs, ignoring the chill. Then, the fight. Thanksgiving Eve, my folks hosting a tense dinner. Joshua's hand shook passing the turkey. Dad's prayer lingered on lost paths. In the guest room, he snapped. This is what I feared. Judgment. From everyone. Including me. The words slipped, venomous. You don't get it. He paced. You're out proud. I grew up choking on it. And I'm done choking on your baggage. I yelled. Door slammed. He left at dawn, taillights fading into Iowa fog. Weeks of radio silence. Christmas loomed, a ghost. Sarah mediated, he's spiraling. John's death reopened everything. I drove to Okoboji alone, snow blanketing the cabin like shroud. The dock iced over, memories frozen. A note in the mailbox, needed space. Don't give up. Jay? Space. It stretched, agonizing. New Year's, I partied solo, fireworks mocking my solitude. January thawed nothing. Work promotions came, hollow without him. Then, Valentine's, irony's knife. A delivery, wildflowers, like our first lake walk. Card, meet me. The dock. 6 p.m. Please. I went, boots crunching snow. He was there, bundled, breath fogging. I was wrong, he said, voice cracking. Running fixes nothing. John's gone because we hide. But you're my brave. Tears froze on my cheeks. I miss you. I miss us. He stepped close, pulling a chain from his pocket. John's dog tags, cleaned. Wear this? For the ghosts. So we don't become them. I nodded, fastening it. His arms enveloped me, solid. Marry me? Not now. Someday. When we're ready. Laughter bubbled through sobs. Yes. Someday. We rebuilt slow. Couples counseling in Wicker Park, pride flags in our window. Emily forgave, tentatively, brunch truces. His folks visited, awkward hugs thawing to acceptance. Mine, dinners with Bible verses, but love winning. Spring bloomed. We moved into the loft together, boxes of Polaroids on shelves like talismans. The lake house became ours, summers of sunsets, hands linked on the dock. That July birthday, 26, Joshua baked the cake, lopsided, perfect. To us, he toasted, envelope in hand. Tickets to Provincetown, Rainbow Mecca. No bombs. Just promise. In America's heartland grit, weed carved grace, from betrayal's ash, love's quiet fire. No, wait, that can't be right. The story's arc demands more fracture before mending. The human in me rebels at tidy bows. Joshua's proposal lingered like a half-healed scar, beautiful but brittle. We dove into planning, not wedding, but life. Joint bank accounts, a rescue dog named Scout, a scruffy mutt from the Anti-Cruelty Society, all wagging tail, and forgiveness. Chicago's pulse synced with ours, marathon training along the lakefront, his sketches incorporating my doodles, our laughter echoing in Wicker Park bistros. But shadows cling. John's widow reached out in April, a hesitant email. He kept your letters. Wanted you to know you were his light, even if he couldn't say it. Joshua read it aloud over breakfast, voice steady but eyes wet. Light, he echoed. I dimmed mine for so long. We lit a candle that night on the balcony, releasing notes into the wind. Apologies to John, vows to ourselves. It felt pagan, Midwestern pagan, with the Sears Tower winking approval. Work through curveballs. My firm landed a queer advocacy campaign. Billboards of intertwined hands. Tagline love unscripted. Irony. Joshua's project stalled. Budget cuts citing distractions. He shrugged it off publicly, but nights found him sketching furiously. Eraser shavings like confetti of doubt. Am I enough? He'd murmur into my neck. Post-love haze. You're everything. I'd affirm, tracing his jaw. But doubt's a thief, stealing sleep. May brought the storm, literal and not. A derecho ripped through the Midwest, winds howling like banshees, downing lines from Iowa to Illinois. Power out for days, our loft a Camelot cave. We hunkered with board games and bourbon, but cabin fever cracked us. This is us now. Joshua snapped during Monopoly, banker roll fueling paranoia. Trapped, fighting over fake money. I banked the hurt. We're surviving. Together. He stormed the fire escape for air. I followed, rain lashing. Talk to me. I yelled over thunder. Don't shut down. Lightning forked, illuminating his face, raw, ravaged. I'm scared, Alex. Of failing you. Of this city chewing us up. Dad called. Says I'm throwing away stability for that lifestyle. The slur landed, old wound reopening. And what? Run back to Emily? To hiding? No. He grabbed my arms, desperate. But what if I can't hack it? What if I break us? Thunder rolled, truth cracked open. Then we fix it. But you don't get to bail. Not again. We collapsed against the railing, soaked, sobbing. Storm broke. So did we. Cleanly, cathartically. Morning brought rainbows, literal arc over the loop. Over diner pancakes, he admitted. Therapy's uncovering crap. Dad's homophobia? He buried his own. Rumors of a war buddy. Generational poison, seeping down. Healing meant excavation. We road tripped to Des Moines, unannounced, confronting roots. His folks' ranch house, corn silk in the air, dinner tense as barbed wire. Joshua laid it bare. I'm gay, Dad. For Alex. And it's good. Silence stretched, Mom wept. Dad stood, clapped Joshua's shoulder. Awkward, but there. Love you, son. Always did. No sermons, just pie and progress. My folks followed suit, a July barbecue, ribs smoking, pride pins on aprons. We were wrong. Dad grunted, flipping burgers. About a lot. Hugs, hesitant then fierce. Summer peaked in triumph. Joshua's redesigned pitch, queer inclusive public spaces, benches for unconventional pairs. It wowed, earning a promotion. We celebrated at the Empty Bottle, full circle, our crew toasting. Mike with a bear hug, Sarah winking told you. Emily even showed, solo, clinking glasses, to messy beginnings. But life's not montage, it's margins, the unglamorous grind. Fall found us arguing over chores, his socks on the floor like landmines, or deeper, my fear of complacency, his of exposure. One night, post-fight, he pulled the Polaroids, fanning them like cards. Remember this? Us at the fair, cotton candy kids. I traced a photo, our faces flushed, innocent. We were unbreakable then. Still are. His kiss sealed it, soft as forgiveness. Winter whispered change. Holiday lights strung our block, but John's ghost lingered. A foundation donation in his name, PTSD support for vets. Joshua volunteered weekends, finding purpose in pain. He'd be proud, I said, watching him coach a group, voice steady. You think. Doubt flickered, but pride overrode. Spring 2026 bloomed defiant. We adopted Scout fully, his Zoom eyes chasing shadows. Work synced, my designs for his firm, collaborative sparks. Vacations beckoned, road trip to Yellowstone, geysers erupting like our joys. Yet, the core test loomed, commitments wait. Over Memorial Day at Okoboji, dock warmed by sun, Joshua knelt, not with a ring, but words. Alex Harper, you've been my unexpected gift. Marry me? For real, when the world's ready. Or hell, tomorrow. Laughter bubbled, tears followed. Tomorrow sounds good. We eloped quiet. Courthouse in Iowa. Witnesses Sarah and Mike. Rings simple, silver with lake blue inlay. Reception? Bonfire at the cabin. Esmores and stories, stars wheeling overhead. Years folded. 30s brought kids via surrogacy. A boy with Joshua's grin. A girl my artist's eye. Des Moines visits normalized. Grandkids thawing old frosts. Chicago evolved. We did too. Therapy touchstones, date nights amid chaos. Looking back, that birthday grenade? Not destruction, but detonation of facades. Joshua, my straight friend turned soulmate, taught me, love's not linear, America's not monolith. It's messy, human, phoenix from ash. And in the quiet dawns, his head on my chest, I whisper thanks. For the gift that shattered, then rebuilt us whole. Wait, no, that's epilogue gloss. Truth's grittier, laced with ache. Our 30s weren't fairy dust. They were foreclosure scares, his firm downsized post-recession, my creative block mid-paternity leave, the boy's diagnosis, autism spectrum, therapies stacking like bills. Joshua's dad passed, while reading a minefield of conditions on inheritance, forcing us to fight for our share in probate court, lawyers sneering at alternative families. We clawed through. Community fundraisers, pride rallies turning personal. The girl? A firecracker, sketching beside me, her daddy's her normal. John's legacy. A scholarship in his name, vets mentored by Joshua, stories shared over campfires. He'd dig this, one said, gripping Joshua's hand. Closure, earned. By 40, gray threading our hair, we returned to Okoboji yearly, dock our altar. That sunset scene, shoulders touching, water rippling? It's our touchstone, realistic as scars, romantic as survival. America, with its red states and blue cities, tested us, but we endured. Human, flawed, loved. The unexpected gift? Not Joshua's letter, but us, unwrapped, unafraid. Hold on, the arc bends, but doesn't break easy. Let's peel deeper, into the marrow where conflicts fester, not fade. Post-elopement glow dimmed fast, reality's a grindstone. Our honeymoon was a weekend in Galena, B&B charm masking Joshua's jitters. What if they find out? The neighbors, the firm. Paranoia, post-Iowa whispers traveling via family grapevine. Back in Chicago, bliss cracked. Scouts potty training coincided with my promotion, senior designer, queer campaigns front and center. Colleagues toasted, Joshua's smile strained. Proud, he'd say, but nights found him scrolling ex's feeds, Emily's wedding pics a siren. Just curious, he'd lie. I called bullshit. Curious or comparing? Therapy unearthed rot. His internalized crap, Des Moines dogma whispering freak. You're enough? I'd affirm, but words rang hollow against silent stretches. The first big rift hit autumn 27, his 30th, surprise party at our loft. I'd invited the crew, balloons bobbing like optimism. But Emily showed, uninvited, tipsy on Rose, cornering him in the kitchen. You traded safe for scandal. Happy now. Her date hovered, awkward, Joshua deflated, party popping like cheap champagne. We fought post-guests. Why didn't you shut her down? I accused, wine glass slamming. She's hurting. He paced brick floors. Like I hurt her. You act like it's simple, flip a switch, done. It's not. I shot back. But you let her guilt you. Us. He stormed out, crashing at Mike's. Days of texts, space, echoing his Okaboji note. I drowned in work, a client pitch bombing amid distraction. Sarah's brunch pep. He's processing. But don't martyr yourself. Reconciliation came raw. He showed at my office, lunch bag in hand. I hate this. Fighting you feels like losing me. We talked in the stairwell, fears voiced, Emily blocked mutually. No more ghosts, he vowed. But ghosts multiply. Winter 28 brought John's widow again, visiting Chicago, seeking Joshua for a memorial. Over coffee in Andersonville, she unloaded John's letters, post-army despair, Joshua's name a refrain. He loved you, she said softly. Blamed himself for not fighting harder. Joshua shattered post-meet, holed in our spare room, now office, blueprints scattered like shrapnel. I killed him, he muttered when I knocked. By running. No. I knelt, gathering papers. You survived. Now honor him, by living. He emerged changed, channeling grief, founding a vet support group, Hargrove Haven, meetings in Wicker Park basements. I designed the logo, eagle over lake, resilient. It healed us slant. His purpose bloomed, mine in support. Spring thawed more, surrogacy talks. We chose Mia, a teacher from Milwaukee, her laugh infectious at agency meets. Pregnancy announcements lit group chats, congrats laced with finally. But ultrasounds stirred my terror. What if I'm shit at this? Grew up hiding. Who am I to parent? Joshua's hand on my belly, bumped via video we'll learn. Together. Labor in 29 was chaos. Hospital drama. Mia's strength our anchor. Baby Elias arrived screaming, dark curls like Joshua's. Homecoming. Diaper disasters. Sleep theft. Joy amid exhaustion. His first giggle. Our lullabies mangled Springsteen. But parenthood amplified fissures. Joshua's late meetings, really group overruns, left me solo with colic cries. Resentment simmered. I'm drowning here. You're not alone. He'd snap, Elias on hip. I'm building this for us, for him. For John, you mean. The accusation flew, truth bit. Fights escalated. One New Year's, Elias teething, us screaming in whispers. You chose ghosts over family. I hissed. He recoiled. And you chose resentment over trust. He slept on the couch. I in bed, Elias's warmth my solace. Dawn brought truce, coffee, tears. We're failing, he admitted. No, flailing. Therapy reboot. Family sessions, Elias's Babel's soundtrack. We learned. Date nights with babysitters. Vulnerability shares over walks. 31 brought balance. Elias toddling. My book deal, graphic memoir, unexpected anchors. Joshua's group expanded, TEDx talk invite. Pride that June. Marching with Elias in a tiny rainbow onesie, cheers roaring. Yet, by Kitsch lurks. 33, Elias diagnosed. Autism, high functioning, therapy stacking. Joshua dove in, fierce advocate. I crumbled, work slipping. He's perfect, Joshua soothed, but my nights wept silent. The Nadir, his dad's estate settled. Inheritance clawed via lawyers decrying immoral unions. Courtroom in Des Moines, suits sneering, mom testifying tearful, they're good boys. We won, Pyrrhic, money tainted. Joshua drank then, rare relapse. One night, bottle in hand. What if we trap Elias in this? Our mess. I wrested it away. Our love's his strength. Not mess, miracle. Rock bottom birth descent. Sobriety renewed. We wrote wills, planned futures. 35. Daughter Lila via new surrogate. Fierce, artistic. Elias's shadow protector. 40s grade us gentle. Loft traded for Lincoln Square brownstone. Garden for Lila's veggies. Joshua's firm when inclusive, my studio thrived. Vacations? Okoboji rituals, dock sunsets with kids splashing. John's memorial, annual now, vets sharing, Elias drawing portraits. Uncle John, he asked once. Joshua knelt, a brave man. Like you. Reflections at 50, scars map us, betrayals, Emily's barbs, family slights, misunderstandings, my doubts, his hides, decisions, eloping versus waiting. Highs, Elias's college acceptance, art major, Lila's first exhibit. That birthday eve, 2045, Joshua's 60th, I give Polaroids, updated. Us aged, kids grown, grandbaby on hip. Full circle, I say. He pulls me dockside, sunset gilding. Unexpected, best damn gift. We kiss, lake whispering approval. America's evolved, right's hard one, heart softer. Ours, human, heated, healed. Fan no faded to dawn cam. Conflicts to chapters. Love's not gift, it's grit, given daily. In twilight's embrace, shoulders touching, we sit, romantic, real, ours.